This is Twitch.
Good evening.
Hi.
This is Twitch.
This is Twitch.
Welcome to the show. This is Star Trek Lexington, Last of the Line. We are playing as the last Constitution-class starship in Starfleet in the year 2300 on special commission from Admiral Wesley. So, as always, we are gaming in support of Extra Life. Extra Life is a system as part of the Children's Miracle Network that if you donate, every cent you donate goes straight to the local hospital that you donated to through us. So go ahead and check out that link. That'll take you to our team page where you can donate to the team or to any of us individually. Represented on our team includes including Boston Children's Hospital, Orlando, Norfolk, Bay State, Buffalo, and San Diego. So you can donate to any of those hospitals by donating to any of our pages, and as I said, every cent you donate goes straight to them. If you would like to select a means or a nonprofit to get your donation, you can instead go to Humble Bundle. If you use that link, you can choose for a portion of your proceeds to go to your target donation source and a percentage of your payment to go to support this channel. And I can plug some other things later that will enable you to directly support this channel, such as we have a Patreon, we have a coffee, and stuff like that. But we should probably jump back into game. So, our illustrious GM, where are we? And what are we doing?
Wait, who's this illustrious GM? I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Yes,
you've got me today.
He forgot he wasn't GMing.
That's it. Thank you, Carol. Okay. Yes, so, hi, hello. Okay, so where we left off is the ship right now. So let me move the map over for everyone's perusal.
Oh, I don't have the map showing.
Okay. Well, we are currently at Starbase 241.
Oh, 241. I've been running 271.
Whoops.
Oops.
At least
My
it's not
bad.
Starbase 8. At least it's not Starbase 80.
That place awful.
You can't
So
trust the chicken sandwiches there.
No, Starbase 241. Okay. Actually, no. Sure, it was 271 in this area. It got downgraded by 30 because they really suck too. But anyhow, no.
You don't want to know.
No,
what
hold on a
happens to
second.
the other
Because
30
Starbase
Starbases.
1, Starbase
What?
1 isn't a bad Starbase. We like Starbase 1.
True.
Eh.
Okay.
It was Starbase 1.
That's I just stepped on a tribble. Okay. So we're at the starbase after getting the crap beat out of us twice. One by an exploding starship, the other by a bunch of drone ships. So yes, came back.
That's our
Starbase.
usefulness in a fight, is that we can literally be defeated by a ship that is actively dying.
Wait, what? Well, no, it was already dead. We were getting
No,
beaten
I
up by
know.
the corpse. Like,
Yeah.
we're... Anyhow, so yeah, fun stuff's happening there. We're trying to go over all the Iosian stuff. So where we left off is, so I believe it was Fish. It was Coinless, Jacob, and Matt were about to run a test on. So we've got this Romulan computer core that's full of Iosian virus, and then what was the other thing? Coinless, remind me.
It was a bioorganic. Basically, it was a device that we integrated into it, so we could sort of communicate / make it do things.
Right.
If it decides to.
Okay, and so you had connected the two of those and were attempting. So you were about to do a test to see if you could get them to communicate with each other. The thing is, Jacob was going to be the one to do that role because he's got the computer science, and you and Matt were going to assist.
Well,
So now we're
you
kinda-
can still roll for
Yeah.
him, right?
I can still roll.
I do remember we made a bunch of rolls before, but was that just like to install it?
Yeah, we did rolls to install. So you finally attached them, but then they just kind of sat there and didn't do anything because you didn't actually tell them to do anything because it was just
Yeah.
kind of waiting. So, all right, I will pull up Jacob's sheet. All right, if someone wants to roll this for me, I'll give you the numbers you need to roll. So I'll accept volunteers for this.
I mean, I'll click the roll button.
Okay, that's.
I mean, I don't need to know. what
It's
I'm
also
looking at,
volunteers to
but-
do the averaging for me because I don't feel like doing the averaging. in
Oh,
my
for
head.
crying out loud. Okay.
All right,
It was a trap.
it was the trap. All right, it's the average of his intelligence and computer sciences.
Yeah, just like everybody else.
So that is going to be the average of 70 and 36.
So it's 53.
I'm glad you can do that.
It came out to 106.
All right. Hey man, even with me, I could
All right.
do it in my head, but I would not trust. But now we're going to do one of the roll. Is I'm going to do. Someone else wants to roll for Matt. Is if Matt succeeds, it'll give a bonus of 15. All right. So Matt is trying to help decipher some of the codes. That's going to be the average of 53 and 12. which is math.
33.
33. Okay. Someone want to roll for me from Matthew?
D100.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You,
I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, he flubbed the syntax.
Just barely missed it.
Aw,
Yes,
It was
just
close.
barely. Okay. All right. So
Is
Tim
Fish gonna
rolling
roll?
for.
I
Assist?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, you just.
So
said
how
that
would
they
you
were gonna
how would you assist? Yeah, he built the thing. So how would you assist in this process?
I'd probably try to.
He's gonna say, "This is the switch you flip."
I mean, I would probably just assist by like adding in. You have to factor in that the device we built is partly organic, so you have to. You have to think. You have to talk to it in coding as well as code.
Okay. All right. Then why don't you give me average of your intelligence? Or it's going to be a three-way average.
Oh.
Intelligence, biotechnology, and computer technology.
Ah, yes, computer technology. That is 12. Okay, it's doable. Slash R. I need to get any 64 below.
Okay.
That's not a bad target.
Yeah, 17.
Hey, all right. All right, so Tim, do the roll, then add...
So 68
with-
is my target then.
yes. Yeah, you're with a bonus of 15. There you go.
You get a tap on the glass. It actually likes it.
42.
Hey!
Okay. So, it's going to do something really interesting. The two code, Jacob will be
Oh,
able
there
to
it
see
is.
this.
Oh.
What is effectively going to happen is the codes are going to merge together. And what Jacob is going to be able to determine is the base source code on between both of them and identify that is the core AI. And then he can identify what the code added on top of it was as well. The code that was in the guy's brain, like the programming. And then the code that is effectively the virus that was attempting to, did destroy the Romulan ship. So you have made some very, very big inroads into understanding the way the virus works, or the way the AI works, and its structure and how it functions. So now, let's see if Jacob can get any more. We'll need another roll from Jacob. Same one.
With the bonus?
Intelligent. No bonus this time. This is just him interpreting the results. So this is
53.
computers. Yep.
39.
Okay. He's able to extrapolate some things from this.
Is someone writing down what skills he's using? Because I don't actually know what skills he's using.
Oh, yeah, someone...
Hey, it's his bust for not being here, so you know. You should write that down. Oh wait, he's not here.
So is it just us, or is people just running a bit late?
I have no idea. I'm almost positive Jacob will not be here. Matt is being Matt. How about Alex? And everyone else that's using, I guess I need to do one. No, Matt failed his roll. Actually, no. The way we've changed it is it doesn't matter if you failed a roll. Just mark down that you used the roll. That is the adjustment we've made to skill points. Okay, so Matt needs to mark for Iosia. Let me do that for him because I'm a nice guy. Sometimes.
So when you make three-way rolls where you have to like biotechnology and computer science and you get it, does that mean it counts as both?
You used all of them, so that counts too. You can't improve your biotechnology anymore, but you can improve your computer technology.
Definitely computer technology.
Right. So Jacob successfully did computer science, so next time he wants to add points, he'll have that. Okay. Alright, I was looking up. What did he find? Alright. Actually, what he's going to get is he's going to start getting inroads based on now being able to isolate the virus itself. You'll recall back that when we attempted to upload a virus to the Iosian ship, they filtered it out instantly.
Right.
What we're going to try to do is do the same thing in reverse. Make our own filter, using the virus as a baseline. But he only has half the equation. The other half is he's going to need to look at the Iosian ship again. But we will wait for that to happen until he's actually back. Because this ship is going to go back with us to Iosia, so he'll have more of a chance to do that later. So we'll have that happen at a later date. So, all right. And for right now, so that's pretty much all that you're able to get from the computer core that I can think of. What else were you trying to get off of it there, Pointless?
I guess I would also, since it's, you know, what it's plugged into, see how it, if it has any particular reaction to the Iosian brain that's plugged into it. Like, if we can sort of run some tests on it to see if maybe there's like some sort of way we can figure out how to undo the brainwashing on that specific hemisphere of the brain. So we don't have to lobotomize everyone. Maybe we could do like some coding.
Well, so you're effectively wanting to delete the coding.
Yeah, I want to see if I can brainalyze them again, but this time we just like turn them normal instead of turn them into 3-second Groundhog's Day loops.
Groundhog's Day loops?
Well, remember they just kept reliving the like split second in the paralyzed state.
Yeah, we didn't really think the ethics too far through with that. Basically, we put an entire crew of these guys into like a prison of their own minds.
It's only for a couple of hours.
Oh yeah, the ethics committee at Starfleet's gonna.
Oh no, it's not. We've left them that way for the entire month.
Oh, they're still like that. I thought we just waited for the breaks to turn it off.
I feel like we probably should have not done that.
Yeah, when the Supreme Prime Directive Court convenes, we're gonna be.
Hey, I'm not responsible for that. I just made the thing.
Well, the Prime Directive doesn't apply, but
they're not pre-warp, so yes.
Wait,
Yeah,
does that mean that someone on our crew has to go around to their beds and like spoon feed them paste?
They'd probably all be attached to like grips of some kind. Like, I don't know. Yeah, we'll decide how that happened if it becomes relevant. For right now, let's.
Captains.
We couldn't have just stuck them in the brig of one of the ships that came with us and then released them.
You know, that makes too much sense. Sure, let's have distributed them among the whole 4 ships. That's fine.
There we go.
So I do remember us saying when we got the captain, we woke him up.
Well,
so
because we woke him up from surgery.
No, I think, well, that yes, but
I just remember
I think he was already under when we started. I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah, I thought that happened like really early on in the trip.
That did, yeah. We released him before we came back.
Yeah.
We did the lobotomy on him before we flew back to Starbase 241. Because
on the way, yeah.
On the way, we were just bringing him around. So.
Anyhow, that is irrelevant. Yeah, it does make sense. They would have been put in the rig. That's a lot less ethically dubious. So,
I found a set of 4 AAA batteries that are all the same, which means I can now turn my calculator on.
Okay, so
have
back
one of those built into Windows, right?
I was gonna say.
Listen, I'm not running anything on my computer that I don't need to while I'm streaming.
Because of stream.
Or on a cell phone.
Is the phone?
Well, my phone is plugged in over there, so.
Ah, okay.
Just let the man have his calculator.
Listen, I paid good money for this calculator. For
in what, 1983?
No, this was actually when I was at Greenfield Community College.
So like 20 years ago.
No, I was there.
You didn't dispute your answer.
10 years ago.
I used to write programs for my graphing calculator. That's how bored I was with math.
My friend had Final Fantasy VII programmed on his, and so we would just play Final Fantasy VII. Except he hacked it. He made some changes to the code so that he was always at limit break. So.
Hey.
Tribble,
all right.
Tribble.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. The leash was rapidly running out and everything. Okay, so Fish, back to that thing you were trying to do. All right.
Yes. See if we can like get a coding. Like I'm trying to see if I can effectively record the frequency and see if we can disable the mind control effect, record the frequency, and then put it into the super USB.
All right. Well, the good news is, based on the roll Jacob did, you have successfully isolated that part of the code, the programming. So that is going to make this part substantially easier.
You're welcome.
Question is, yes. Thank you, Jacob. Tim. Jim. Thank you, Jim.
There we go.
All right, so now the question is, unfortunately, this is something else Jacob would help you with, so I guess Jim is going to have to step in once more.
So is Jim just spelled GM?
Yeah.
JM.
Nice.
Let's... Honestly, yeah, this is going to be basically another computer science role. There's not much else that it would be.
So, 53 again?
Yep.
Hey!
57.
Oh. Okay. So, you feel like you're on the brink of it, but as of yet, the code is eluding you. As far as... Because honestly, what's happening is the code is realizing what you're trying to do, and it is actively dodging your attempts.
Can I assist by tapping the glass?
Sadly, that does not work. All right, but that is a good idea. You can revisit that, just not at the moment. All right. What else were you attempting to do with it, or is that basically it?
Well, I guess that was, for the most part, just trying to, like, maybe see if we can get the AI to sort of somewhat cooperate / manipulate it, if need be. Kind of like AI v AI. This is kind of, they kind of like a situation where, like, they have an AI, so we get one of our own to, like, fight against it if need be.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you from a technological standpoint, remember, this code is massively more advanced than anything the Federation has. So that would take a... What was that?
Sorry. Nothing. I should have muted.
It's okay. No one on the ship, any of these ships, is qualified to go to that level, because that would require building an entire program of equal complexity from scratch. The best thing that you can do is build off the framework of what you already have. Which is what you're attempting to do by using the code from the ship in order to make a filter for the virus for the next time you encounter the Iosians, just in case.
So it's a work in progress right now.
Yes. It's like you're... This is some complex stuff, man. It is way out there. It's more complex than even I'm able to even BS try to explain. The hard part is having someone who does programming professionally as part of the game, so I'm like walking a tightrope of trying not to step on a landmine. That's not how that works.
You say it's space programming. Space programming.
It is space programming.
Yeah.
So
It's
in a different
codes.
language from a
It's
different
future
planet.
coding in a
it's
different
plot
language.
coding.
Listen. Obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, other planets are using
Coding is coding is
Macintosh,
coding, dude.
as we learned.
Well,
You
these
mean
guys
there's
are
Windows on other planets? Oh no.
This is like
Unix truly
meta-coding.
is universal.
This is like meta coding. This is coding that you can't even begin to.
You mean
consider.
scripting?
Just go with it.
They have a word
Just
for
go
that
with
already.
They do
Just
have a
go
word
with
for that. It's called scripting.
It's meta scripting.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure that's what Dave does for a living.
All right, multiple computer people. Whatever, man. At the end of the day, sometimes the plot has to win. Because I don't know what I'm going to do.
I just know that next plot he picks is not going to be computer based.
Oh, no. No. Not for that reason, but remember, this plot originally wasn't even supposed to be computer based. It just kind of happened.
I can't wait till we're
So-
stranded on an island and just like we have this one device and 30 corpses, and I'm just crack my knuckles like, well, it looks like we're gonna start splicing.
Well, that was a bit of a a change in tone.
Oh.
Okay.
Can't hear any of us.
Oh, that's weird.
We can.
That sounds like a Dave problem.
That does sound like a Dave problem.
No, you can't hear me say that. He's probably. Is it the whole he doesn't have video and he's muted?
No, that's something else.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So many Discord pings.
I love notes.
Yay,
cool.
Dave's back.
Oh, good.
All right. So all of this process, everything that we talked about this session, last session, that all is going to take the full time that we're at the starbase. So now we've reached the point when the heck was Dave?
Alright, I didn't mute.
Dave
farted.
is sick tonight, which is why he's not giving us visual.
Why he's blowing his nose? Okay.
And why he's muted
Right.
most of the time.
I was blowing my nose. I apologize. I forgot that I didn't remute when I rejoined.
It's okay.
Is the
It's
theme of this session going to be should have muted?
Yep.
Possibly. Oh, Matt
Pretty
just
much.
joined roll 20. Maybe he'll show
Hey.
up momentarily. Okay. So yes, now we are departing back to Iosia, and this trip is going to take about another 2 weeks. So in the interim, Chris, it's time for you to get to know the crew. Now, one role that we did at the beginning of last Extra Life is based on, and I have to look it up, how many years you served with the other crew members, like other players, how well you know them, and how well they know you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I got to pull up that post. That was a while ago.
Yeah, I remember the post.
Hey. Matt.
There's Skippy. Skippy, write down that you had a role for Iosian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what that one is?
Yes,
next-
that's how I marked it, so I'm getting rid of it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I need to roll one for that.
No, that's already
No,
done.
that's
Oh,
You-
it's already done.
You just
Okay.
have to mark that you rolled it so that when you get PowerPoints, you can spend them on it. It's a skill
Okay.
that you use.
Okay.
all right. So we'll get to that later. Okay, so now we're on our way back. So all right. Oh, I need to find that post.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. Should have written that down somewhere separate.
The screen kind of feels empty tonight.
Well, there's two of us are audio only.
Mm-hmm.
More than average.
Yes. Jacob is AWOL and Alex is I
I mean,
also
if someone wants
AWOL.
to reveal my image again, I can fill up the screen real fast.
That's true.
It's
It just, bam! There he is.
Oh god!
Giant fish.
Cyberpunk fish.
That's true. It is a cyberpunk fish.
It is a cyberpunk fish.
And we're gonna.
I mean, that's what at least what it says.
And we're gonna put
That's
that
not
away.
what it actually didn't look like that at the start.
That's true. There were some edits made live.
There were some live
before
edits.
game started.
All right. While I'm trying to find that out, so
I found
all
it.
right.
Found what?
Oh, the post.
The
Carol?
race with the feeding tube.
Hey.
Oh, that was. I got that.
GM's like, that was not your assignment at all.
I believe they are called the Ood.
No,
Magic
the
beans.
Gem Hadar.
Oh, Jim
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew there was a race.
That's not feeding tube. That's
No,
like
it's
drugs.
not. It's drugs.
That's drugs.
But
It's like
Yeah.
insulin all the time.
yeah, but
So
it's
it's a main
nutrients.
All right. So Chris.
Insulin all the time. Yeah, no.
All right. So.
Oops.
All right. So I found the post. Now I just need to find where I wrote like. How do you figure out? It's the stuff I should have had ready.
I had figured we were just waiting on me.
We call it Gem Hadar.
Sure.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, they're from the DS9.
Yeah,
From the Dominion War, they were the foot
Yeah,
soldiers.
yeah.
Yes.
Last half of
Right.
DS9.
Yeah. Which we haven't gotten to yet because we stopped watching DS9 for a while.
Yeah,
I forgot about
somebody
that.
couldn't handle watching two shows simultaneously.
Listen, it's a lot of TV.
Ah, they're like lizard men. Okay.
Yeah,
Kind of like reptile lizard. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
mindless.
Somebody couldn't
They're not
handle
mindless, they're
Avery
addicts.
Brooks'
Hey.
overacting.
Genetically
now.
engineered reptilian-like humanoid species from the Gamma Quadrant.
I mean, I liked the characters and I liked the story and the setting and everything. We were watching Voyager and DS9 and something else, and
what's something else? We were
I don't
just watching
remember
those two.
because I can't juggle more than two shows at one time.
we were only watching those two.
I feel like we
We
were
were
definitely
just-
watching something else.
No, I
Oh
believe
no,
that,
we
like,
were
There was
because
a little bit of overlap with TNG.
there was a little bit. Well, there was like one episode, but no, we were also watching that the Rainies, the Homestead Rescue.
Not while we were watching Voyager.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
And Real Housewives.
Does this look like a family that would watch Real Housewives?
Real Housewives of Klingon.
I would tune in for that. I would
Chronos.
tune
That's
in.
Kronos.
Kronos.
That's
Oh,
right.
yes.
Real Housewives of Kronos.
Kronos.
Oh my goodness.
People noticed.
That'd be a heck of a show.
That would be a heck of a show. Okay.
Greenlit. Paramount, do it.
I don't think it
Gosh.
would get on live television though. Too much blood.
Probably. All right. So
That's why
here
you have
is.
Paramount Plus. It's subscription only.
I was gonna
What-
say, they got
what is-
you covered.
What is Real Housewives?
I love you.
All right. So, Chris. So here is how we're doing this. So you spent 4 years cumulatively working with Eric and 1 year working with Jacob. We'll hold off Jacob's role until you get back, or until he gets back. So you are going to roll a D100, and I can't find the chart that I wrote down as far as... Where did I put it in my phone notes? I need to consolidate my notes badly.
Hmm.
Really badly. That's...
Hey, Chris, what's the name of your character again? Just so I can write
Calvo.
down.
Calvo.
Calvo the
K-E-L-V-O?
Magnificent.
And,
Yeah.
and do you have are you a one name as person, or do you have a last name?
I think I had a last name somewhere. I forgot where I put it.
I never saw a last name.
No, I never saw a last name.
I think I might have had it on
Calvo-
like a paper
Calvo
sheet.
it is. Got it.
Calvo Smith.
I mean, there is what the,
Calvo Smith.
Calvo
the
Smith.
chief engineer
Nice.
calls him, though.
Yes.
Yep, I'm so
What's the
good at
chief-
putting like weird stuff together. They call me glue.
Yes. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here's the way these rolls work. You're going to roll a D100. If you roll a 50 or above, you like don't remember the other character barely at all. 25 to 49, you're familiar with them. You remember working with them. 10 to 24, you worked fairly closely. 1 to 9, you are extremely familiar. Now, you can choose whether that means you're really good friends or you really hate each other. That just depends on how you want to do it. But now, let's see. For every year that you work together, that's going to push it 5 more each year.
So what number? Like, so you get
5
like a plus 20
So you get to minus.
or minus 20
let's
for me because
His
we've
roll
known each other
minus
for
20?
4 years.
Yes, so the
Okay.
roll minus 20 for both of you. Yeah, so you're
Oh, we're
both
both
doing
rolling?
the roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
both doing the roll.
Yeah, because
to see
remember,
how
I like
well-
I'll let Chris go first then.
one of you might have known each other, the other one really well, but the other one didn't. Oh, 26.
Oh, you
Okay,
put the 20
so-
in there.
Oh, he did put the 20.
Alright.
Okay, 46.
Okay, so you are familiar with
51.
Yeah,
okay.
51.
So for having worked together for 4 years on and off,
It here has no clue.
Chris barely remembers you except for Academy, and Eric, you only have recollection of him back from the Academy. That's it. From like those
Okay.
training sessions.
All right.
So write that down somewhere. And
Will do.
All right, so first thing we're gonna do is everyone's on the same shift because of course you are. It is chow time. Everyone is together in the cafe. Take it away.
So how do you guys feel about biological implants in bullet time?
In
What?
bullet time?
You see, I just started like spreading out the schematics.
I'm gonna go get some tea.
In character and out of character.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
is next level right there.
Calvo says that I don't like any kind of technology that
Straight
references
larp.
something as old as bullets.
Okay,
If
how
it
it
was
works.
laser
sense.
time, I might be more interested, but bullet time, I think you're talking old stuff.
Okay,
Hark,
Well, it would
Harkin's gonna be
make
like,
you-
"What's wrong with bullets?"
And Nakamura would show up with a bowl of ramen and be like, bullets are so 20th century.
well, what if your body was fast as a bullet?
I'd be Superman.
No, you would
What's
have
Superman?
a Quicksilver
Yeah.
implant. With this bad boy, you'd be able to double your perception and activity. Side effects may be pending, but
Wait. Why are you glossing over that part?
Are you a doctor or a used car salesman? Oh my god.
What's
Well,
a
I'm a-
car?
Shuttle salesman.
I am a
Shuttle
doctor.
Shuttle
But
salesman.
before I'm a
Used shuttle
doctor,
salesman.
I'm a scientist. And all I have to say is if you just sign these couple of waivers, drop a stack, you can have this implant for just you and no one else.
I warn everybody, I wouldn't trust this guy. As far as I could throw him, and that's probably not very far.
It's not that. It's not that.
I don't know. I think you can throw him pretty far. I'd like to see
Yeah.
that.
Are we talking? Are we talking in 0G or like?
No. I think Andorians can toss a human pretty far. I would like to see a roll on that.
I'm pretty sure he means in 4G.
4G. Ooh.
4G
That's
time.
harsh.
That's
That's 4D.
I imagine he sees.
4G would be 4 times.
4 times the gravity.
4 times the gravity of Earth.
Or G's. Yes.
I've read the classic human tail Frankenstein. I know this doesn't end well. I'll stay away from that.
To be fair, the real monster was the scientist.
Exactly. Exactly.
He does not get the irony of that statement at all.
Yeah, I think Calvin would look over at Harkin and say maybe Tex over here would be more apt for it. He seems to be that.
That's...
He likes bullets, so I sort of looking like him.
Maybe it's just like, do you? It's like, it is actually quite an effect. Like, he just gets a bit more serious. Like, okay, so it seems
Harkin
my
will be like-
approach is hitting
be
the
like,
wrong crowd.
Tex, I'm from Boston, bitch.
Oh, that's not helping your. What's a Boston?
I think he's aware
Greatest
of exactly
city in the
one
world.
place. I mean, he's Andorian.
Greatest city? I don't know about that.
Two places on Earth: San Francisco and Texas. That's it.
Yeah. Boston isn't even the greatest city in Massachusetts. Well,
Shush.
Damn. I was gonna say.
I don't even know if it still exists.
Didn't Boston go downhill quite a bit after like 2023 and all that stuff?
Boston started going downhill somewhere in the 1600s. No,
Oh, is that
I.
And we've lost all our Boston.
Woo! Yeah,
Thanks.
all our
People would rather go to Philadelphia than Boston.
Philly is worse.
Anyone who wants to go to Philly can have it.
Yes.
I think that was
I concur
partially
with
my
that
point.
statement.
But okay.
I think the only time I went to Boston was just to stare over at New York on our field trip.
What? You can't do that.
That's not how it works.
Might have been a
New
bit
Jersey.
farther, but I don't
I think that's New Jersey you're referencing.
No,
That would have been New Jersey.
there is an
It
entire.
makes sense.
Newark.
There, yeah,
He was in Newark.
yeah.
Someone
that's-
told him he was
that's-
in Boston.
This is Boston? Wow.
To be fair, I didn't pass my geography. History and sciences were my strength, but knowing where the hell I was, no.
The first time
Why
I
does
ever...
Boston smell like armpits?
I was
By
either
the way-
on or near the ocean.
This entire conversation is in character, whether you want it to be or not.
It is. We're gleaming a little cannon there of like what the cities are like nowadays.
The real question is, how the hell does a Kelpian know that Philadelphia sucks?
Listen, apparently he had some friends from
Sporting.
Pittsburgh, and that's all he heard about it.
But
Oh.
Calvo does look over at Nakamura and sort of like knowingly remembers somebody like that from the academy and from the coffee pot. It just sort of does a nod and just sort of continues eating whatever I'm eating. That weird tasting
are you
hamburger.
Weird
That weird
tasting
tasting hamburger. That was from last session.
Gosh.
Why don't you take a
Nakamura
couple-
looks
The
over and goes,
Hyperburger?
the hyper burger.
Didn't we go to the academy together?
You do look familiar.
You do look familiar.
You probably had-
Sidebar: completely ignoring the 4 years that we were on the same ship, but you know it's all good. The academy is the part we're going.
No, it's 3 years on a ship and 1 year on Andoria.
Oh yeah.
We,
Well.
yeah, it was the academy back in 22.
22.
22 is
Nakamura will
also
practice his Andorian and say something in Andorian that's like a general well-wishing, good greeting in Andorian.
22.
You've got Andorian on your sheet.
I do. I'm lobbying for a role.
Well,
I think I
well,
have Andorian actually too.
what
Yeah.
do you have in it?
15.
Okay,
That's enough to
unless
say.
you're
15,
that's enough to
I have a
say
15.
good health in Andorian. I'm hoping,
Yeah.
but
okay. So in this situation, you're not being shot at, and you actually have a basic competency in the language. So no, you don't even need to roll that. You just
ah,
Okay.
okay. How does Calvo react to my travelers Andorian?
Not bad for a human. Your accent's a little hard to understand, but I got the gist of it.
That Japanese accent in Andorian. Although then again, you've got a better score. You got a better score in Andorian than you do Japanese.
Yeah, I didn't. I was a rebel against my parents and didn't really want to study.
So the only Japanese words you know are curse words.
That's pretty much. And Gomendasai. I'm sorry for using the curse word.
I didn't know what it meant.
Well, there goes our Japanese viewership. Damn it, we're losing everyone.
We still have our Andorian viewership, though.
Yeah.
Sprechen de Deutsch.
Well, I learned a little bit when I was on Andoria for a year for assignment.
Yeah. No, Calvo's very impressed that your attempt to use his language and reciprocates back. Gives you like a pat on the back. Good job.
Great
Good
job.
Yeah.
I'll have to practice a little more one of these days. Now that you're on board the ship, I have someone that I can actually practice my my skills with.
As you
you do
forget
remember
about the linguist that is very fluent in Andorian.
Yeah, but Andorian, like firsthand. You know,
isn't Jacob's character also Andorian?
Yeah,
he's not here at the table right now. He's working.
Like, completely forgetting about all the people that speak Andorian that were already on the ship.
Which is all of us, I think. Don't we all speak Andorian?
Speak Andorian?
I don't think
it's authentic.
I speak Andorian.
I have to check.
Speak Klingon.
Is anyone else bringing this up to the table that they also know
I
Andorian,
do
or is it
speak
just me
Andorian.
and Calvo?
Nope. Harkin's just smirking at you.
Everyone else is like, I love it how everyone else is like speaking English at a table, a bunch of people that speak English, but that's okay. We'll work with it.
I think Tex is still thinking about bullets.
Do you do ambu jutsu?
Was that out loud?
Of course, yes. I don't have telepathy or anything like that.
I'm not from Texas.
You are now, Tex.
Harkin, Tex, Sark.
That's how this happens. Everyone, we're gonna make sure this rumor keeps going. Texas.
So what?
This is better than. It's a better rumor than me like being in charge of a cult. Which,
to be fair, you were actually in charge of a cult.
With the storyline.
It's not a rumor if it's true.
Yeah, that would be awful.
When I lived in Boston, I went to church in Belmont, which is in the north of Boston, and he referred to anything south of 90 as the Deep South. So,
That's
the
a
pastor
very...
there. So, as far as he's concerned, your character is from Texas.
That is true, because he is from South Boston.
Well, all right. So during the middle of all this, you guys doing whatever the hell this is. First of all, Chloe has sat back down and is having whatever reaction she wants to have because this is fun.
I have no idea what's happening.
With tea.
That's the reaction I was
With
gonna
tea.
say, but I wanted to let you choose it yourself. Okay.
Yeah, I just sat down with my tea and started sipping, and that's about it. No idea what's going on.
So you're all gonna hear a voice from like halfway across from the room saying, "I'm hearing a bunch of lieutenant commanders having fun. That can't be good." And you turn and see it's Captain Sherman walking up with a big old smile on his face. He's gonna do the Riker step over the chair to sit down.
Classy.
Must.
Sir, we'll secure that fund right away, sir. It's all business now, sir.
Well, now we know who taught it to Riker.
So,
I want him to roll a
That's right.
dexterity roll to see if he succeeds.
Faceplant. The captain just faceplants on the table.
He's trying to be the cool dad, and whether or not he succeeds at being the cool dad or the awkwardly cool dad.
Does he rip his pants?
We already like the cheeseburger thing, so.
oh,
Rips his pants. He's our
You know what?
captain.
I'm
He's
just gonna
the
have
captain of the. He's the captain of the ship. Right?
oh, let's
Mhm.
see. I'm gonna.
Did you see that TikTok of the person who was like showing the Riker maneuver by degrees of difficulty?
No,
I've heard something
I
about
need to see
that.
the post.
I did.
I need
It's
to see the
hilarious,
link on
but there's also one where Jonathan Frakes reacted to that video.
Oh, even better.
I've seen that one too.
Yeah, that
And
one's fun.
I think, if I remember correctly, he was just laughing hysterically the
Well,
entire time.
He was, and then he told a short story at the end.
He did that because he had back problems.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It hurt
Yeah.
to sit down normally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which
I didn't
is
know
and
that.
then each take would take like a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. Hold on a second. I found it. I'm going to post it in Discord while Tripper looks up whatever it is he's looking up.
And I have looked it up. So, just for the sake of fun, I'm going to have Sherman roll average of his dexterity and his luck to see if his pants rip.
No, I think
He
it's
gets to use a
charisma.
luck?
No, it's got to be charisma, right?
Come on, no.
Charisma.
Sit down.
He's trying
His
to impress
charisma
us.
doesn't determine the strength of his pants.
No, but
luck
it
problem.
determines his
Swagger.
grace.
Swagger. Yeah.
Well, that's what the dexterity is.
No, there's swagger. There's the ability, and then there's the presentation.
Right. It's all about the presentation.
There's a solid minute video on YouTube, just Riker.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and post it in the.
It has
I've-
5
in the
million
Discord
views.
too.
I mean, I'm guessing he's trying to curry favor with us. He's trying to impress us. If that's just the way he sits down, then
That's
fine.
just the way
but,
he
like,
sits down.
I
It's
mean,
not-
I'm
Oh.
happy enough that Trip is actually rolling, so
Yeah,
I'm
let's see them dice.
Wait,
Come on.
Wait,
Yeah.
is this
Alright.
but would he have
He's-
like a passive skill in chair sitting at this point if he does it all the time?
He's got to beat a 68.
It's
All
not
right.
on the sheet. I guess.
Oh!
Hey!
Oh, he nailed
Oh,
that
yeah.
landing.
That's
yeah,
why
he's fine.
That's why he's the captain.
He's-
Yep, there it is.
Alright. So he's gonna sit
Yeah, they
down.
pay him the big bucks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they add another 0 to his salary.
Yep.
So
At the
he's gonna
front,
sit
where they all are.
exactly. Also, Tim is out of. He's got it. Okay.
We've lost him.
So
God.
no, he was
That's
out of
fine.
focus. He's fixing it. So he's gonna sit down and look at Sark and say, "I didn't know you were from Texas."
Nice. Nakamura says that out loud, and then he covers up his mouth like starts eating more noodles. Nice.
Yeah. Harkin will be like, no, sir, I'm from South Boston.
If you couldn't
She's
tell,
gonna-
Andorian.
If you couldn't tell
South
from the-
Boston, Texas, sir.
Boston's in
if you
Texas.
couldn't tell from the everything about him, he's from South Texas.
South Texas.
South Texas?
Yep.
South Boston.
It's like, if you want, when I put in the implant, I can just write "not from Texas" on it.
What? No, he's gonna write "Made in Texas."
He's gonna have it occasionally
Not
just show
made in
up as
Texas,
a
don't
hologram
cross
over
me
his
up.
head. This is made in Texas.
Yes.
If the implant goes is attached like via cardiac, then it would be deep in the heart of Texas, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Took you a while to get there, but you got there. That's the
He
best
did
part.
get there. So, I have no idea how much of that was in character and out. I don't know.
No,
what to respond
just the
to.
South Boston, sir.
Okay. Okay.
All of it.
I wish it was all of it.
South Boston, Texas, sir.
South Boston, Texas. I was gonna say, I've never been to Texas. Is there a South Boston, Texas? It wouldn't surprise me. It's a big state.
No, sir, Massachusetts.
Gotcha.
I would
Good to
suggest
know,
the
Lieutenant
Whataburger.
Commander.
Space Whataburger.
Not everybody's perfect.
Do the states still exist in this setting? Out of
No.
curiosity.
Because Kirk is from Iowa.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they go to
yeah.
Montana. Yeah,
But
the states
what
still
they-
exist.
Okay.
They probably don't mean anything anymore. It's just like a name.
I feel like they probably
But-
mean something.
It's like
Well,
county
They
lines.
meant
where
something to
it's like-
Kirk.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, legally speaking, probably doesn't mean as much anymore. So,
And we know that Pike is from somewhere in the Midwest, too.
yeah. So there's still states, but whether, I don't know, citizenship, that's something I have no idea on.
It could be like
How all
district.
that works. Districts. District
Yeah,
12.
because Riker's from like Alaska or something.
Yes, Riker is from Alaska.
Sounds like all
But-
humans come exclusively just from Earth.
Yes.
What? No,
At least at that
originally.
point.
I think there's some humans.
It sounds like
that,
that, but-
places.
Well, Tasha was from a colony.
yeah.
Yes. So that happens. It's just rare.
All Kelpians come.
Plus
Okay,
there was all
not-
the trauma that
Not for
came
main
with it.
characters.
Pretty much. No. So, all right. So Captain Sherman is gonna nod and it's gonna turn. He's gonna turn over to Calvo and say, "Lieutenant Commander Calvo, is it?
Yes, sir.
How are you fitting in, sir?"
I'm feeling good. These are very friendly lieutenant commanders, and they're making me feel right at home. It's an honor to be here.
That's good. It's good. I hope you'll stick around with us for a while. And he's gonna give just like one of those grins. Just.
Oh, roll charisma. That's
For
our
what?
check.
My
think
pants
that's
aren't ripping.
Whether your joke lands.
That was-
No,
It's so
you
bad
guys
that
choose
you-
whether it lands. That's your.
It's
so
so
bad that
bad.
you have to roll
It
to see
needs
if
Whether
dice.
it sticks to glue.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
See if we're forced to laugh by obligation.
Yeah. Nakamura will laugh as that the boss told a joke and he's laughing. Ha, 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 ha.
Was
Do I have
that
to roll a charisma roll to see if it's
he's,
believable?
he's just itching to get a roll on something.
He doesn't get any
got-
points for charisma for rolling charisma. Though.
No, you're base stat.
I got a bunch of roll goblins now. Jeez.
I could probably
Right.
plant some charisma.
Would you
I have a charisma
For what?
chip.
No,
For
it's just
what, Matt?
pheromones. Just tons of them.
What's
That
that, Matt?
works.
Drugs, essentially drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just drugs.
I just said, would you prefer to have dice goblins instead?
Dice goblin.
Well, can't steal my dice when you're not even in the same state. So
Not with that attitude.
You underestimate dice goblins.
oh jeez. Anyhow, so he's gonna look around and see Rex like, yeah, I didn't stick the landing on that joke, did I? Oh well.
I didn't tell him what you laughed.
What?
That was not in character. I was just looking at my purple dice.
Say. All right. Well, I know I've rained on your parade long enough for very nice dice. I'll let you.
I'm told they're purple. Yeah.
Lady and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your time off. Don't let me put a damper on the mood.
Their color
And-
changed, Tim.
They're color change. So sometimes they're purple.
They're purple and green.
They're purple and green.
Yes.
I love that you got the colorblind guy color changing dice.
Yeah. It's
Well, I
cool
mean, it
for
wouldn't work.
everybody
It's
else.
cool for everybody else.
It is.
So the main thing was that they were metal dice,
Yeah.
and for some reason, I thought that his base was purple and not blue. So I was like, he dyed his hair green, and I was like, his base is purple, so I'll get him purple and green color changing dice. And then I completely just forgot that he can't see those two shades.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, purple's like your favorite color, isn't it?" I was like, "I literally can't see it."
But he loves it
It
just
was
the
the
same.
thought that counts.
It was the thought that counts, and I'm very happy for them. I just can't see the purple.
Tribble.
Tribble.
Treble.
Don't do that again, Matt.
Aw.
Aw. Alright.
But I was
Okay.
nice and got
So the
everybody
captain
black
leaves
dice for
the entire
for
point of
extra
it.
life too. So
What was that, Dave?
You got everyone black dice for extra life.
Right.
so Tim didn't have to worry about those colors either.
That's true.
Because it's
All right.
Oh,
no
no.
color.
That's true. It's not a
Captain-
color at all.
Captain Sherman heads off to parts unknown and leaves you all back to your own devices. Any other conversation happening? Any shenanigans going on?
Is that the first time the captain's sat at a table with us?
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like it is.
it is.
In game, yes.
In game, yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I would say the same thing in character to the table. Is that the first time the captain's sat down with us?
Yes.
Do you think
Yes,
he's
because he
probably-
eats in his own dining room.
Well, That's why it pays to be the captain. It's his own dining room.
I don't know. What was his
Oh,
name?
do you think the food's better in the captain's lounge?
Yes, he has
They're
a
all
personal
replicated.
chef.
Is a chef?
They usually have personal
He's a chef?
chefs.
I thought you just
What?
had another
Do you think
replica.
he's
I
got-
figured he would have a
Storage.
replicator like everywhere else.
Do
Yeah.
you think he has like
Do you think there's like a
real
cabinet
natural ingredients
with
or something?
Yeah,
like a
food
spice
stored
rack or
in it?
something.
I mean,
You think there's
Like
a
a-
refrigerator in this
In the-
cabin there?
in the movies, they had like a catering staff.
Yeah, in real
In-
life they do too. So
Yeah.
but
So
This isn't a spoiler, but in Strange New Worlds, isn't there like a place where like Pike is actually cooking?
Yeah.
Well,
Pike-
that's
Pike
that's
is
that's,
cooking,
that's
though.
presented
Yeah,
as his
that's his-
personal choice.
that's when
though.
he has.
This is
That's when
quarters.
he has
Yeah.
dinners with the officers.
Yeah,
Wardrobe,
and
yeah,
breakfast.
wardrobe.
He has multiple meals with the officers, but like
Yeah. But he cooks because he wants to.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
that
likes-
was presented as,
Right.
as
He
his choice,
says that,
not
that
as
it tastes better.
not
if I
as a
remember
thing that
correctly.
it's just kind of built into the role of being captain.
in
Yep.
in character, I'm gonna say I bet he has his own spice rack.
Just specifically the spice rack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my
Star Wars
my
spice.
character's backstory actually has a lot of cooking background into it, so it does make sense.
Do you think it's alien spices or do you think it's average?
Oh,
Harkin-
I bet it's all spices. Like you can't be.
It's all spice.
No, it's not all spice. It's all the spices. You can't be
Well, that just
visiting all
means
these
that
planets
it's
and not
gonna,
pick
it's
up
gonna taste
spices.
like pumpkin spice, right?
Only in the
Space
fall.
pumpkin spice. Is there a fall in
Dorian
space?
pumpkin.
Harkin's
Spice.
gonna challenge Calvo to an arm wrestling match.
No, but there's more in the thing under the TV.
Oh, that's right. Calvo, do you Ambu Jutsu? Calvo.
Chris?
No, I take a
Yeah,
cream for that.
Oh, that sounds like
God.
a Lawson question if I ever heard it. I'll leave it to that. I'll leave that be.
Yeah, no,
I
I'll
know
talk
you- I know
to I'll
you
talk
had-
to the medical staff about that. But no, I don't.
I know you Andorians party hard, play hard,
Yeah.
work hard, got it.
No, I don't
but-
think I do that.
Well,
So,
if I recall,
yeah,
you were
Sounds like we need to
challenged.
challenge a challenge.
Yes.
Harkin will turn
Oh.
to Calvo and challenge him to an arm wrestling match in Andorian.
I'm surprised you didn't challenge the captain to an arm wrestling match.
It's all about context. You gotta wait for the right moment to charge.
Yeah, you can't do that in the first
Yeah.
encounter. You got to build a rapport to.
In what way did he build a rapport with the other guys he challenged
mean-
when we
Well, in that case, he
They
would
didn't
build a
have the
rapport
rank.
by way of the
By
arm
way of
wrestling.
rousing. And remember that Harkin has interacted with the captain because he was like one of his. He was on the security escort team for the
Yeah.
captain
Mhm.
multiple
true.
times.
They have talked a fair amount.
So I think
we've
at
already
this
got a
point,
rapport.
it's
He did it off
his,
camera already.
his relationship with the captain is more business.
Aww.
No.
Whoa, that's squared away. That's a squared away officer right there. He knows the business. He's
This
got a
box.
business side to him.
All right, so Calvo, the gauntlet has been thrown. Will you accept?
Nah, I'm not interested.
Oh,
Please shut
Oh.
down.
he doesn't even think you're a challenge, man.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You're not even worth the effort. Oof.
Not even gonna go there.
So yeah, like Harkin will insult him and say that he has no honor
In
Ooh.
Andorian.
in Andorian.
This is gonna
Nice.
turn into a food fight.
Oh God.
Yeah, we're playing.
Nah, Calvo doesn't really care what humans think.
Silly humans.
Humans?
Silly pink skins.
Yeah.
Did he say that in
Oh,
character?
did he say
Does he
pink skin?
does he care what Kelpians think? This Kelpian is not indicating any thought at all about the matter.
He feels bad that he doesn't even know that he's from Texas, but he thinks he's from Boston.
Remember, you can tell all these people that you speak Andorian, but only once.
Is that it?
I think
Yeah.
I think that's it.
So
That's it. I think that
Hero.
Hero.
You asked Calvo if he ambujitsus, right?
Yeah.
Out loud.
And he said he needed ointment for that, so I kind of left it be.
So then he'll like hearken after Calvo just doesn't want to arm wrestle. Will turn to Hero and be like, "I'll ambujitsu."
Ambujitsu.
All right, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Which one's Ambujitsu?
But of course we're gonna have to schedule time at the
It's
At the
it's
gym.
the American Gladiators martial arts thingy.
I think I put a video to it in Discord if you want to see that. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
When Riker
So-
ambujitsu with his dad. Yeah, we'll set up a gym time. We'll definitely make that happen.
All right,
Cool.
that will be scheduled. That will not happening immediately. That'll happen the next day.
Right now.
Right now!
Right
I
on the
challenge
table.
you right
Oh,
now,
God.
or you're a coward.
You throw down
If
this
this-
instant.
This.
If this was a Klingon ship, sure. It
Yeah, that
can
would
bring
be-
out knives. No one would care. But sadly,
So
Yeah.
could Fish actually ask Harkensark if he's willing to challenge him to an arm wrestling competition?
Oh, I want to see the bionic arm suddenly fling out. Be like-
However, he would say, perhaps it's like, but if I win, will you accept the implant?
oh my God.
On one
Ooh, that's some
condition.
high stakes.
You lose. You get an implant.
Wait, do you have an implant in your arm?
No, not currently. But if I break my arm,
that puppy's going back in. Got it.
I mean, Harkin will be like, "I'm not putting any tech into my body, but I will arm wrestle you."
Well, that's not the bet.
This
That
is
defeats the
this
purpose.
is this is sacred territory. My body is a temple. This
is
is
a
not a temple. This is a temple that stays in the Stone Age. Thank
getting
you.
a feeling
bet you he
people
can make
don't
a
want
implant for your arm
cybernetic
wrestling.
implants.
What was that?
I was saying I'm getting a feeling people don't want cybernetic implants.
They really don't.
You know, I thought at least one person would be like, "Oh, cool, I can do this thing." It's like, well, I guess not.
Well, that's you're in the world of Star Trek, not cyberpunk. So different ethics.
Well, to be fair, I feel like not a lot of people, when they're given the option of dye a red shirt or live slightly longer, they'd reject the live slightly longer.
So wait, is it gonna be canon that he's the guy that invented Geordi LaForge's implant? Can that be a thing?
That one I feel like would make a lot of sense.
That does kind
I
of
mean-
check out, yeah.
I mean,
While his
it's a
younger brother was
prosthetic.
off building a robot.
Yeah,
we'll have to review the canon and see if that's actually named somewhere.
I will have to review the canon because that I would have no problem with that. But yeah, this is the same group of people who, like, 60-something years later, would find out about a literal race of people who that's all they do is augment their bodies and like join a collective, and they're repulsed by that. So I think that same streak kind of runs through everything.
Michael Okuda.
Michael Okuda.
Is the guy that actually made the implant?
I think he's
Wait,
like
that's the
producer.
that's the
that-
guy
yeah,
that
he's-
designed
he's an
it for
executive
the show.
producer. Oh,
Never mind.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, he's the prop designer.
He's
Got
the
it.
prop
Yes.
designer. Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
Universe.
There's a prototype being worn by a crew member of the USS Discovery in 2257. So if you invented it, you had
There
to have
is?
done it. Yeah.
Apparently.
Can I just
He
make
invented the Mark II version of it. Yeah.
I made
The what?
I made the eyeballs, but just patent them so no one could use them for like 50 years plus.
Yeah, until like the third movie.
It's
Mhm.
been caught up in.
It's all those patents that you have to wear off first. It's like, I have so many amazing things, but no one can use them for like 100 years because I'm a jerk.
That's on brand. Okay,
right.
so anything else happen at the dinner table?
If no augmentation, if no one's putting a limb on the line, then he's just gonna back out.
Okay. Well, in that case,
You're not going to give any kibble to our feline friends?
Wow. Is that set in character?
No.
there's only
I
one.
like that.
There's only one feline friend. The other one is strangely AWOL. Probably out sharpening knives or something. Okay then,
Alright,
so it's the next day. It's time. You've got your scheduled time to beat the living hell out of each other. So this is personal combat unarmed.
I would like to average my Ambo Jitsu skills up into unarmed as well.
All right, let me see.
You're gonna be Nakamount Namora.
I like that name. That's cool. So personal combat unarmed, and I have it under sports.
I see it. Well, here's the funny thing. If you did it that way, instead of just averaging your dexterity and personal combat unarmed, if you averaged it with that, you'd actually do worse.
Well, that doesn't seem
Okay,
right,
by me.
does it? Should it just add to unarmed combat straight up, or no?
Because that
As like a
makes a lot
bonus?
more...
Yeah,
okay.
or I don't know. It just averaging time. If I played the sport before,
All right, here's how we're going to do it then. Is considering that is the specific one that you're doing,
yes.
Dave is also going to have to average it with his score, which is going to be 0. So he's going to be averaging his dexterity, his personal combat unarmed, and 0.
Okay.
While you're averaging the same 3.
So dexterity, personal combat, unarmed, and ambo.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull
And
my
Dave
calculator.
is averaging dex, personal combat unarmed, and 0. Because he has no training in that exact type of martial
discipline, yeah.
discipline. And actually, I don't know if I wanted. If I'm going by the rules I usually do, if you have no skill in something, you take a negative 30. And this isn't a free for all. You're having to use specific rules.
Is Dave
Yeah,
just not
it's a
saying
sport.
anything, or is he muted?
He's muted. Dave,
I just want to make sure that if he's trying to say something, he's aware
he's
that
muted, so I'm not sure what's happening.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Oh,
So what am I
okay.
doing?
Okay, so because you are challenging him specifically in Ambu Jitsu,
60... Yeah.
what we've done with situations when you're doing a specific skill that you don't have anything in, is you take a negative of 30.
Oh, okay. So I get to roll against a 16 then.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, what?
16.
Wait, you have to get a thing.
He has
or
to get
6 no.
below
I have to
60.
get below
60.
a 16. 16, not 60.
Oh, okay.
16.
Oh, okay. That
All
makes
right,
a lot more sense. I was like,
Well-
wow, your unarmed combat must be off the chart, dude.
So
It's like,
here's the thing. Like,
Sure.
the way that you're doing that, right?
Yeah.
I'm already at a disadvantage because I'm averaging 0.
That
And
Yeah.
then I'm taking a negative 30 on top of that.
is kind of two
That's kind of like a
disadvantages.
double. So I'm okay with either or.
which
Well-
one's the lesser?
Well,
the two,
because the way we were
handicap?
doing it, the way we were doing it before with the minus 30 was admittedly assuming that you. Were
I
only
would be
using one
okay
skill.
with averaging dexterity and personal combat, right?
Mhm,
I take a negative 30 against that,
mhm.
and Eric takes a plus 50, plus whatever his ambujitsu is to his average of his dexterity and
That
his
works.
personal
That works.
combat.
We'll go with
I
that.
think that seems like a fair compromise.
I like that. That works.
All right. So
All right.
what are we doing again? So
So you're averaging your
by
dexterity
2.
and personal combat unarmed, adding
help.
10. What's
God
that,
help!
Tim?
God help anyone who's watching this stream hoping to learn the FASA system. Because
Yeah. No,
you're not going to.
He
No,
adds
step one
he adds
follow
he adds his ambujitsu at the end after the average.
Correct. And then you
Okay,
take
yeah.
you're
right.
removing 30
Yes.
at the end of the average. Okay, that is fair.
You hurt my number, Dave, but not only by a little bit. So it's very reasonable.
I mean, your roll is gonna be a lot easier to beat than a 39.
That's true.
Not by much. Wait.
Okay.
So we adding the plus 10 after the roll or no?
You add the plus 10 after the roll.
After the average.
After the average.
So your target increases by
by 10.
All right.
And while Dave's gets smaller by 10.
No, mine gets
By
smaller
30.
by 30.
30.
Okay. Are we ready? to
Oh,
rumble?
20.
Oh! Ooh!
No.
All right, so what were our targets to beat?
My target was 39.
Okay.
My
Eric?
target was 52.
All right, so what's the difference
Mine
between...
is 17. And his is 13.
Okay,
Yep.
so that means Eric wins.
Barely though. It
Yes.
sounds like it was.
He was closer.
oh.
No, Eric
No,
was closer to his
Eric
target.
was closer. My
wait.
target was my difference
Right,
between
right.
my target was 17. His was 13.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
beat mine by 17.
Man, numbers right now for me, man. Ugh.
So
Okay.
I
So
So
won.
I barely eke it
You-
out against you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure that
barely.
makes sense.
So Dave
I don't
would
think
have
that
won.
makes sense.
Yeah, because the idea
I
was
closer
the
to my
idea.
number. No?
Yeah, you're
No.
closer, which means you didn't exceed. You didn't do as well.
I
Like,
succeeded better.
The farther you are from your
Uh.
target, the better of a job you did. Because your target
okay.
is yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember that anywhere in the rules, but those rules really don't. They leave a lot of room to interpretation.
All right.
So I
But
barely.
but that's how we
eked it
did
out
it in
against
Afterlife.
you.
So
Yeah, and it's consistency. We stay consistent when we can. Okay. So the way this fight plays out is it's obvious that Dave doesn't know what he's doing, but just his raw talent for physical combat means he just muddles through, but he's ultimately able to win.
he's
He
not great
commits
with the
all
rules,
kinds-
but he's pretty good
He
at
commits like
violence.
every fault in the book on the way, but he
Right.
wins.
The technique is clearly like messy, but like he won it out with just athleticism. I get it.
So
I would
We've
say
all been there.
I would be like, "This your first run of this?"
with that success, can I choose to now increase my ambujitsu because I succeeded?
Yes, you can. So the way that works is
So I can choose between that or personal combat unarmed.
Right.
Yes, and
Okay.
if you did that, you would roll 1d4 for your results, but you'll do that at the end.
Yes.
I'll explain when we get to the end. I'll make sure everyone's up on how the system works now.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Okay. He asked
So-
you.
In
Yes,
character, I'd be
man.
like, is this your first run of this?"
With ambujitsu, yes. I used to wrestle.
Dude, we need to practice this more often. You got some
All right.
talent here. You need to work on this.
Yeah, Harkin
And,
would be like, all right, I'm game.
Nice. Make.
Okay.
And that'd be done.
All right, we're done with that.
So how's my buddy's existential crisis going?
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll do that at the same time. What other things happening? So, Chris. So your assignment for the trip back is, so it's the 4 Starfleet ships, and you are bringing back the Iosian ship, because we don't. It's kind of a bad. It's kind of a bad look to literally just like take their whole ship,
Yeah.
even though it attacked us. We're like, hey, let's. Here's a peace offering. Here's the ship you tried to use to kill our crew. So,
We
see,
found
Fred.
this.
friends. So your assignment, Chris.
Well, real quick, are we
basically-
also bringing back the 10 drone ships, or whatever happened to them?
Yes, those actually dock inside the main ship.
Ah, okay.
All right, so Chris, your assignment right now, because the Lexington is as patched up as it's going to get for now, is to basically try to learn as much about the Iosian ship as possible. Try to find any weaknesses, strengths, because you have astronautics, astronautics meaning the construction of ships. So you're looking for design weaknesses primarily, or just anything that can be exploited if things go sideways.
I also have astronautics if he wants any help at some point. If you
All right.
look for somebody to help you.
All right, so what we'll do is that will be an assist if you would like to help Tim. If you succeed, that'll be a plus 15 to Chris's roll. All right,
I have
Chris. So,
astronautics too.
all right, if you would like to assist, you may also do so.
What am I averaging? Intellect and astronautics?
Intellect and astronautics.
Alright, so 64.
Wait, how many people can jump in on this?
I think I'm going to cap it there.
Damn.
Although, actually, Eric, you can look at their shields.
Ooh, how am I doing that?
So just roll shield technology.
My target was 64, I rolled 59. So that's a success.
What was your target, Dave? You're muted, Dave. Eric did not succeed.
It was 37.
Okay.
I'll go. I'm still working off the sweat from Ambo.
Right.
So what am I doing to roll?
You are averaging your intelligence and your astronautics scores.
So add them up and divide by 2.
Correct. So your intelligence is 82, and your astronautics is
81.
81. Okay, so you're rolling up, so you're rolling against an 82. So you just got to roll lower than 82. Actually, no, plus Tim's bonus. So you've got to roll better than a 97.
That's right, baby!
If you roll a 98 or 99, I'm going to just die.
That would be my kind of luck.
Yeah.
That's just
Dave.
1d100. Hey! All right. So here is what
Ooh,
you are
that's a
going
pretty
to
rousing
learn
success,
about the
too.
Iosian. Yeah, it is a rousing success. You find out a lot of things. All right. So Chris, you probably want to take these notes down as far as what you learned. So I will give you a moment to prepare your note-taking apparatus.
Got it.
All right. So let me look up one thing quick. All right. So the thing that you are going to find. All right. Actually, I need to tell you how the ship is laid out. Huh. You know what? I'll have to get back to you on that one because I have the design where I can like put it down really easily. But what you find is that the weak points of the ship are where the nacelles attach to the main hull.
All right.
The phaser, or their equivalent of phaser, their energy weapon arrays have a weak point where if you target it correctly, you could actually overload the system. And you're also able to figure out exactly what you would need to target in order to disable the ship's ability to communicate with the drones.
It's the antenna. Sticking
And yeah, I will. Man, see, you succeeded on your roll. You got it. you found that, Tim. You're the one that found the antenna. See, there it is, guys.
There it is.
There it is. All right. Unfortunately, Eric did not succeed, so you have not gained anything new about the shields or how to defeat them. You know what, Matt? Why don't I have you take a look at their communications technology and see if you can figure out any ins or outs involving that.
Is there anything that we can learn from their medical logs?
All right, we'll get to that too. Good question.
Ooh.
All right, so, and your target on that intelligence communication system technology, yeah, you beat that. You found how to jam them.
It's also because Tim found the antenna.
That too. Yeah,
Right there. Aim the jammer at that thing.
So through trial and error of literally what you did is you flew one of the drone ships out and had it like parallel the ship and kept just trying frequency after frequency until you finally found one that made the drone just like go. So now you have 9 drones because it fell out of the warp bubble and didn't really survive. It had a bad day. But a small price for progress. All right, so for medical, what exactly are you attempting to find out? That was Tim's suggestion, so...
Little does he know that he's created a political incident because he destroyed one of their drones.
Yeah. I was just pitching the idea that maybe the medical people could have something to do on the ship by like looking at the medical logs and learning something.
I don't think I heard that
Okay.
suggestion.
Oh, yeah. That was the entirety of it.
Okay. I'm trying to think what they would... I mean, you can roll. I'm trying to think what else you would learn. You've already learned quite a bit from having a lot of subjects. Yeah, I'm going to need to know exactly what it is you're trying to figure out because I'm not sure what else to tell you at this point.
I mean, you don't have to. I was pitching an idea.
No, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. I just don't know
Wouldn't
what other
we have
relevant
gotten
information.
a lot of that stuff during the information exchange during the initial contact, like the second contact with them?
Well, what you found out is that those records were limited because they did not say anything about one of their brains literally being controlled by a program. So they were selectively redacted without us realizing it. So we actually learned more from the dissection, the
lobotomies.
lobotomies.
Either word doesn't sound like
Lobotomy?
that, really.
Lobotomy. The brain plucking. Well, actually, you know what? What you can look up is because right now we're looking into weaknesses and things. Yeah, you can research their physiology to see if they've got any physical weaknesses that can be exploited, other than turning their entire ship into an off switch.
I feel like it's a pretty big weakness.
That is a pretty big one.
Shutting off your entire brain.
So, if Fish and or Chloe would like to investigate this, let me know, and I'll determine what you need to roll.
Aren't we like peaceful with them at the moment?
Well,
Kind of kidnapped him.
we
You're
know
kind
that
of like a
the planet-
ceasefire, really.
the planet is actually hostile towards us. They were just putting up a front so that they could get access to us. We are at peace with the people that we've captured, but we don't actually know that we're going to be at peace when we arrive at their planet with ships that are susceptible to their systems.
I feel like at peace is a very strong word for like have them all in prison and lobotomize.
I was
the
gonna
other-
say
Well, I didn't say at peace. I said peaceful.
peaceful.
There's
Yeah,
a difference.
our captives are pretty peaceful. Yeah, you know. It's like,
Yeah,
peaceful in
We're
prison.
not actively
Sounds very
engaged in
common.
combat.
that's
There's
true.
no threat at the moment.
It's a ceasefire.
But there
ceasefire.
will
I
be a
think
threat
ceasefire
when
works.
we arrive.
I feel like
Possibly.
hostages.
Possibly.
I'm gonna go with hostages.
I mean, tomato. You know.
Yeah.
experimental subjects is what they have actually been so far.
I mean, basically, yes. So,
Research.
All
we
right.
call that research.
Unethical lab rats.
Research.
yes. Yes. So, our medical people, does anyone actually want to investigate this? looking into their physiology with the mindset of, if things do go south, this is obviously a backup plan, but if we are forced to come to blows with them, to know what their physiological weaknesses are.
Soong would probably sooner make more USBs.
More room for implants.
He literally has an off switch. I mean,
Well, what if they're not on one of their own ships?
so I kind of assumed it because you just said it was Iosian technology, not explicitly their ship. As it travels through electricity, it could literally infect their entire planet if it could propagate enough.
So
What if you're fighting them in a forest? There's lots of there's all kinds of contingencies.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
Yes.
That's just why I'm saying Soong wouldn't make that role because he would be. He's like, my plan is perfect. I don't need it.
That is totally in character. I will accept this answer.
didn't
Yes, Carol?
I already learn about Iosian physiology?
We learned cliff notes of it.
You did, yes, but not specifically looking for weaknesses.
I don't have it on my sheet. I thought that I had learned enough to add a line on my sheet for medicine.
Oh.
I could have sworn you did.
But it's not on either of my sheets.
Yeah, I'm almost positive there should have been something in there on Iosian. Well, I don't know.
I also want to look at their weapons.
Okay, that's good. That's good. While Carol is looking for that, then let's go ahead and do that there, Dave.
Personal weapons check.
Like their personal weapons?
Let's see. Yeah, you know almost nothing about starship weaponry. So yeah, you're looking at. Good news is you have a lot of examples of their personal weaponry. So yes, you have plenty to go off of.
All right. So I'm rolling against a 56.
Okay. 42. Okay. So you figured out their power source, how they function. I'm trying to remember. You're the one that did the role for the Romulan disruptors a while back too, right?
Yes, and I forget who I worked with to determine it was that we determined it was a replicated power supply.
Well, guess what? The Iosian weaponry, their power supply is replicated in the same basic way. It's not the same power source, but it's the same process to make it, basically. But besides that, I mean, now you know how to disassemble one. You can take one apart. As far as what advantage that gives you in combat, you know their range. In gameplay-wise, it's not really going to advantage you anything. But you do understand their functioning, and you would definitely be able to use one if you picked one up without any issues.
Okay.
So I do have notes here about their physiology and it being very similar to ours.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I remember, let's see, the two brains.
Dual brains, both sides of brains work independently from one another. Brain works like computer, 3 lungs, kidney like organ, normal stomach.
Right.
I think that was all.
Respiration.
So you yeah. So again, you know the basics, but the information you have so far is not enough to extrapolate specific physiological weaknesses. At least compared to humans.
So we don't know if they all have a natural peanut allergy or something like that.
Or like something like that. No.
They have a flavor allergy.
They do have a flavor allergy.
Oh, yeah.
That you actually do know.
We could just make a stink bomb and it all
salt at them.
comes out from it.
Like slugs.
That's
That
a
literally-
salt.
It would be assault and battery.
Yeah.
Well,
Throw salt and butter at him. A salt and buttery.
I failed at making a sleep bomb, but I think I can make a smell bomb. That should work.
Does anyone have starship weaponry technology?
Nope, not this group.
Nope.
Wait.
So, what would I be rolling to check for
I have
weak
it.
spots?
How'd
I
you
have
get
it,
that?
and I'm confident Calvo has it. It's part of the engineering core school.
Oh, okay. Calvo.
Because I think we
You
should
have to rod you
investigate
up on
their
those
starship weaponry as well.
Right.
But, well, Carol needs to figure out her role. So.
All right. So, were you able to figure out at all, Carol, whether you had their biology?
I don't have I don't have it written down that I earned it. I remember earning it, but I never wrote it down. So
I thought you got like a thing for Andorian biology.
I already had Andorian biology.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, she's got a 34 in it. That's how she saved Cess.
Mm-hmm.
So remember there's like I thought there was like a +10 somewhere for. I guess it was IOC.
All right, I'll just say, based on all the notes that you have, you already have a 10 in
Oh, cool.
Iosian physiology. You just have figured out a 10. You've taken the time to go over it, so you understand how they work on a basic level.
Cool.
Basically, first year med student type stuff, but. That, and you've taken apart 2 of their heads, or helped take apart 2 of their heads, so.
I assume Fish is getting that too.
No, I'm good.
Well, Fish, are you going to take the time to study Iosian physiology, like their notes and everything?
No, he's too much of a narcissist. He's confident. When you make an off switch at that point, he's got complex kicks.
Yeah. All right. So, Carol is going to be average of intelligence and Iosian. So 74 and 10.
It's 42.
42.
Ha. Okay.
Nope. Okay. No, you're not able to figure out anything specific weakness-wise other than you would work on a human.
Mm-hmm.
Although you are able to figure out that due to their 3 lungs, they would actually be even harder to asphyxiate than a human is. So, trying to do something like trying to suffocate them would not be very effective. That is about the only thing that you've learned.
Well, there's still only one input, right?
Well, yes. In that case, yes. I'm just saying they have bigger lung capacity, basically.
Right. Yeah.
They hold their
Just
breath
takes
50%
longer.
Bigger lungs means worse inflammation issues.
Yes, they are. They're equally easy to choke, but it'll take 50% longer for the effects to happen.
Right.
All right. So, starship weaponry technology. That was a thing that was happening.
Yeah.
And make sure, guys, you're writing down these rolls.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's intellect in that?
Yes. All right. So there's 2 of you doing it. Who has the higher score in starship weaponry technology between you and Jacob? Let me check Jacob's.
It's not Jacob.
Oh, sorry, Calvo.
I've got 29.
So him. He's at the higher.
All right. So Tim, you will be the assistant on this.
Okay. So I'm rolling against a 37. No.
No. All right. So Chris,
does
you're
not
rolling
help.
does not help. Chris is average of 82 and 29.
Oops. Calculator's acting up.
This is the math game, I swear.
56.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, sir. Do I get any
I keep
bonuses?
talking with my mute on.
No bonuses.
No bonuses.
2.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Hey.
All right. So you figured out. So you figured out the principles on which they work and the power bands in which they work. So you've increased the ship's effectiveness against their shields by 20%. So basically, our shields will be able to hold out 20% longer against them.
It'd be good for next time they try to steal our ship
Yeah.
and murder us all.
Yeah.
So I guess I have 2 questions, Tripper.
Actually, one other thing. So that was their energy weapons. Now, they use what are basically photon torpedoes. They call them something different. It's about 80% the same thing. So you understand how those work. There's not really a way to defend against it. You know the principle they work on, but basically it's a torpedo. So there's not a whole lot you can do. You can't modulate the ship's hull against an explosion. That's not quite how the physics on that works. But you figured out the energy weapon, so that is definitely very helpful. So you were saying there, Coinless.
Yeah, I was wondering, should I just like make a bunch of more USBs for like give one to everybody on the crew just in case, like when we go to Iosia, so if they find something, you just plug it in.
All right, that would be something to ask the captain. So I am the captain. All right, present your case.
Okay, Captain. So as we've seen that the I'm just gonna call it USB for now, because the USB we used in order to paralyze the Iosian crew before. I was wondering if you could give me approval to mass produce one for a full team's worth of people for next time we return to Iosia, if that is the case, as an emergency.
Yes, that is a fantastic idea. I want to have a whole bunch of those on hand. I will figure out how I want them distributed. I'll have to think that through. I don't know if I necessarily want everyone to have them. It may just be certain crew members, certain officers, but that would be a great contingency plan. So, yes, Lieutenant Commander, thank you. That would be a great suggestion.
And this is actually a perfect time for my second question, which involves an out-of-conversation. So you remember Project Lazarus, Tripper, that we had bacon conversation over during Extra Life?
Yeah.
Could I'd assume that this would be very apropos with the whole Frankenstein monster thing with Chris said. And maybe because I was given permission to bring this cadaver on board and that was the plan, this is a situation where I'd be like, so Captain, should I begin the first tests on Project Lazarus, seeing as he would probably know about it?
He's going to stop a second and go, I'll need you to refresh me on the details on that. My apologies.
The temporary resurrection of a dead body, sir.
That's what I thought it was. Okay, and how are you wanting to apply this?
Well, in character or out of character?
In character.
So I just thought in case of, if the worst came to the worst during the Iosians, we might be able to salvage some of the crew, and though it's a very long shot, I did want to work on I did have the cadaver prepared in order to test this theory in its very beginning stages.
I feel like if I say yes to this, I'm going to violate some Federation statute that is so obscure that I don't even know where I'd find it.
This is how Night of the Living Dead starts.
Just to remind you, Captain, and it's just I forget what the word was. Donating, yes, the body was donated for science. So.
I understand.
Yeah,
You've got.
They have.
You have that cadaver, which I had to give approval on. That's fine. All right. So here are your boundaries. You have all the permission in the world to develop the theory and work on that cadaver. but you do not have permission to work on any other subjects beyond that one until you come talk to me, at which point we will see where you are, see the ramifications of what you've done. But as of right now, that's all I can let you do.
I'm just going to say right now, if there are zombies in this episode, I'm out.
Yeah, that's next episode. Come on.
Yeah, next episode, because I have to drop out like at 11. I slept very poorly on a recliner last night, so it's been catching up to me.
Oh, it's been catching up to me since 5. I did not sleep well, so I'm amazed I'm even doing this. Yeah, well, 11 sounds fine to me, because for similar reasons to Tim. My eyes have not been happy.
Am I allowed to roll for zombie?
No.
Zombies. I have an 80 in the zombies, so...
I have a 90.
He's going to successfully bring them back, and they're just going to scream.
99.
Well, it's more of a 3-second.
Pure existential angst.
So, the GM is saying that if anything happens, it's going to happen after the Iosian storyline. So
Okay.
This is you've been given permission to work on the theory, so take that to mean it's going to take some time during your off hours. So that's not happening yet. So
I love it when a nightmare comes together.
God,
that's gonna be our
Definitely
Halloween
gonna
special
leave.
episode.
I mean, to
I'm going
be
to
fair,
request
no one
some
wanted
shore
the
leave and
Quicksilver
just never
implant.
come back.
that's called going AWOL. That's illegal.
Okay, but zombies. I feel like it's justified.
Counterpoint.
zombies.
Zombies.
I hear what you're saying, but I'd like to put it out there. Zombies.
Zombies.
You know, Frankenstein, vampire, ghoul.
All reasons
Vampires.
for why this doesn't work. But
To be fair, time travel and parallel realities.
Time travel.
If time travel and omnipotent gods are a thing in Star Trek, all rules have fallen to the wayside at some
Just
point.
think of them as space vampires instead of zombies.
Yeah, just because they drink motor oil instead of blood. It's a lot more ethical that way.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the blob.
ethical.
It's the blob.
They are the Amish Borg. That
They
is
don't
what they
eat
are.
brains. That's what it is. Yeah.
They live.
To be fair, I have stated the God complex multiple times. It's kind of be expected, you know.
I mean, it doesn't have to be expected.
Well, it will happen soon, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, happens soon.
No, you went there.
Yes,
Ah.
did go there.
If,
All right.
If my brother can do it, so can I.
All right. Who has warp drive technology?
Me.
Calvo.
I do.
And so do I, yeah.
Okay. Whose is higher?
I have 50.
I have 52.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay. All right.
You slowly beat him.
So, yes. So that means that Chris is going to assist Tim.
And this is intellect again. 63. Alright, so I'm rolling against a 50. Well, I gotta wait till you roll so I know what I'm rolling against.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta roll. So mine comes to a 66.
Oh.
Oh, that's a success.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge success.
That is a big success. Okay. So Tim gets
3.
a 15
Plus 15.
bonus.
Alright, so I'm rolling against a 73 then.
Best number we've ever gotten.
Okay.
Alright.
All right. That is a success.
It is.
Okay, so yeah, their warp core. It's not quite as advanced as ours on this ship. It uses very similar concept. It works off dilithium because I mean they've got
Everything
oodles
works
of
off
dilithium.
dilithium.
So there's no real way to disable it from the outside, but you do know for sure if you were able to get onto one of their ships, you would be able to shut the warp core down like immediately.
You disrupt the matter antimatter.
Well, okay, let me put it this way: you would be able to shut it down immediately, safely. It's really easy to shut it down by shooting the warp reactor. Anyone can do that. It takes a little knowledge to do it without literally turning yourself into space dust. So, if you're talking, Matt, we cannot hear you.
He's eating.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So you
Are you eating gummy bears? Is that what that is?
That's any of
Yes,
these.
it is.
Gross.
They're grape.
Hop in here and there and everywhere.
They're all grape?
Yes.
They're all gross.
I got a full thing of grape gummy bears for my birthday. They are the best.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
To be fair, I bet there's little. I bet
I'm
there's
looking.
little Scotty dogs, which are black licorice. Scotty dogs.
Those are also gross.
Really? Black licorice?
I love black licorice, and you know what my second favorite thing about black licorice is? Everyone
don't
else
like
in
it.
my house.
Nobody else
hates
likes it.
Yep.
Ah. That works.
So
All right.
if we bring a box of Good and Plenty to a party, you'd be happy as a clam.
That's true. I love good.
Voted the worst candy in America. Good and plenty.
7 years in a row.
All right.
I'll take those odds.
I wanted to wait till Jacob. I wanted to wait till Jacob got back to this last one, but there's something that'll need to happen on the ride back before we get back to the planet. So,
I mean, it's
so what we did
10:51.
earlier is we were able to isolate. Well, I'd like to end the session arriving at the planet.
Okay.
And we're heading to where again?
Back to
Iosia.
Oh, we're heading back to already. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we've been gone
Already,
like over
2
a month
sessions.
with the ship getting repaired and all that.
I just remember like we went to the dock thing and then we immediately left the dock. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much to do there. All the plot is back on Iosia. What we're doing right now is more investigative type stuff. So, all right. So what we did earlier with Jacob's role, with Tim rolling for Jacob, Jim, is we're able to isolate on the Romulan core the virus from the AI. Same thing with the contraption that Coinless made, separating the programming that was actually controlling the people and the AI itself. So what you're trying to do, if I recall correctly, was figure out a way to make a filter that would stop the virus.
Right.
So on one half of it, you figured out and isolated the virus. So now you need to investigate the ship to see if you can figure out the filter, the way they did it, so
like a
you'd be able to
code.
use it for your own purposes. Yes.
The goal was to hopefully find the code that would writes the programming into their brain, so we could reverse engineer it, put it into the USB, and then just cure them on the spot instead of paralyzing them.
That was another thing, yes. We're talking
Okay,
right
different.
now about, remember how during Extra Life, there was an attempt to upload a virus to their computer that just their filters immediately caught. So we're trying to
Yes.
reverse engineer that. That's what you've been ordered to try to do. All right.
Okay.
So that one would also be a Jacob roll there. So if whoever wants to, I guess if Jim wants to continue doing that.
Yeah. What's you know the number, right? The number rolling against?
So what you're rolling, and actually Matt can help with this because this is also, well, does anyone have communication systems technology?
All the engineers.
I know Matt is 10 in it. So what do we? So
Communication system technology, I have a 10.
I have 30.
That's right, Calvo. You stick it to him.
You have better technology, communication technologies, skills.
the
than
engineer
our
has better
our
communication.
communications expert.
Well,
That's
it's the
awesome.
technology.
But-
the technology skills
in
are
fairness,
all
he-
I
engineering
just know how to
skills.
use it. I don't know how to.
But he has better
Fix it.
engineering skills than me. Yeah. Anyways.
I mean, that's true. Like, I'm great at driving, but I could not fix my Jeep if I wanted to. So, it's knowing how to use it and knowing how to fix it are not the same. Or knowing how to, yeah, you get what I mean. Okay. So this roll is going to be
I rolled
another
because I was in the
three-way
middle of
average.
rolling when I had to look elsewhere.
oh, so you just rolled a 9 for this roll.
I
whatever
rolled
it
a
is?
9 for this. I don't know what I'm
Okay.
rolling against yet.
Well,
but I
that
rolled
means
a
it's
9.
That's not how this works, Tim.
I asked you what my number was. I clicked the roll button, and then I was like, because you have to drag to make the dice show up, and so I was holding the mouse button, waiting until I heard the number before I let go. But then you asked about the technology, which means I had to change screens, which means I let go and the dice rolled.
Oh, jeez.
I was trying to wait.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So rolling as Jacob. So, all right. So that roll would have been an average of communication systems, technology, computer sciences, and intelligence. Problem is, he doesn't have anything in communication systems technology.
Right.
So that the person to do this should have been Chris, because Chris has all. Actually, Chris doesn't have computer sciences,
Wait.
but he does have
computer
computer
sciences?
technology.
Wait, which science?
Okay,
What are the three?
so the role that I'm thinking of is intelligence, computer sciences, and communication systems technology.
Communications, computer sciences? You mean like?
Where
Are
is
you
it?
talking about computer technology?
Jacob has computer science on his sheet.
Huh?
Where?
I only see computer
I think
operations,
that
and computer
might be
It's under-
technology.
a sign.
It's not. It's like a custom thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob has that under physical sciences, computer science. That's why he's been doing a lot of these roles.
Okay.
But for
So
this, I
why
will
can't it
accept.
why can't it be two separate roles? Because like Calvo can figure out the communications part, and then if he succeeds that, then you can get a bonus to the computer science of actually coding it.
There you go.
You know what? That works.
Dave gets my free hero point for the
Yes,
genius idea.
Thank you for doing some of the thinking for me, Dave, because right now my head is.
That's right. Exploiting the rules is what I do.
Okay, it's 10:58. Let's get this done. All right. Chris, give me a roll for intelligence and communication systems technology.
All right. My average is 56.
What was Tim's roll for again?
This was for Jacob's
Well, he's going to
skill that
succeed,
doing
actually.
anyway.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And he's going to succeed no matter what at this point.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
16.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a success.
Yeah, all right. So you're taking your roll and subtracting 15 from it. So yeah, it succeeds. All right. So you have figured out a way to create a filter. And what it does is it's actually going to recognize the base AI, and it's going to stop that from coming in. Because different versions of the virus have different variations, because they figured out what happens for the Romulan ship and what happens for our ships. They don't use the same code because Romulan and Federation computers aren't the same. But what they all have in common is what you found. The common denominator between the code you got off of the thing that Fish made and off the ROM in the computer core is the AI.
Right.
And that's what it detects and stops. So now, and you guys do some testing of it, like, because you have an example of the virus there on those other drives, and you are able to successfully filter the thing out. So when you get to Iosia, you'll be able to talk to them and won't get fished or hacked or however you
We'll
want to
spread that to the other
So-
ships, presumably.
Fished.
Is this going to be some
Absolutely.
new hacking
Catfished.
term?
Absolutely.
Get catfish.
All right. Well,
Fishing scheme, if you will.
so all of that stuff happens in the
We got ripple
And-
effect.
all that stuff happens in that span of 2 weeks, because now you have passed through the cloud, the nebula around the Iosian system, and you're going to be greeted by a hell of a lot of Iosian ships. But we will pick that up next time.
It's an
All right.
armada.
So,
Come in peace.
It's
No
a
one
trap.
expects the Iosian Armada.
No.
No
Yeah, real
one
quick question,
breaks
because you said
through
you guys
the
had to
blockade.
leave really soon. How do we do points again? I mean, because it says we.
Okay. You
I see
all
the system in
accomplished-
front of me, but like, how do we acquire them?
yeah.
All right, so so at the end of this session, you guys figured out a lot of stuff, so you're getting 2 points. Now, the points are going to be a little stingier in this game than they were in Mutants and Masterminds. Most sessions, if you don't do a whole lot, it'll just be 1. Again, the problem is, if points are flowing too liberally, eventually die rolls become meaningless because every point you add basically gives you a 1% better chance of succeeding. That's just
Right.
it's tricky. So, but this one you get 2. So now the way it works is you can only add points to skills that you used during the session.
Or since last time
If
you
you
spent
have-
points. You
Or
said.
since the last time you spent points. Every time you spend even 1 point, you reset your counters on what skills you've used. So, anything that you've used since the last time you spent points, so basically just this session, if you have between 0 and 9 points, you can roll a d4 to figure out how much you get in it. If it's between, let's see, isn't it between 10 and 39? It's a 1-to-1 ratio on points. I put that in notes somewhere. And I think if it's between 40 and 69, it costs 2 power points to level up by 1. And then 70 and above, it costs 3. So the idea is to make it more difficult to max out skills. You see that in a lot of video games. Like the more skill you have in something, the longer it takes to level up. So there's precedent for it. But what this will promote is you diversifying. So you're going to get more bang for your buck spending on the lower ranked stuff anyway. So after talking with
Wait,
Tim,
I'm
I wanted to make sure
confused.
we had a system where it's not like you're rolling and you maybe win. Yes, ma'am.
So, what's the 2 for then?
We got 2 points to spend this session.
But we're rolling.
Well, you you
Uh,
spend a point to get a roll.
Yeah.
1 power
Well,
point.
no, you only roll if it's 9 or below. Otherwise,
Right,
you're just
yeah.
straight up putting points in.
Yeah. There's brackets on the Discord.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, so that means you can either upgrade 2 things that are between 10 and 39, upgrade 1 thing that's between 40 and 69, or save your points later for something that requires 3. So you're able to save points if you want to do something that costs more, but you can only upgrade a point by 1 point at a time, or upgrade a skill by 1 point at a time. So you can't like save up 20
Unless
points
you
and then
rolled.
spend them all at once.
If you roll a 4, you can upgrade it by 4. But
Well, yes, beyond those, except for
Can
the
you
die roll.
pin
So,
that message?
yes,
Yeah.
I will pin that message.
all right, cool. Well, this has been Star Trek Lexington, Last of the Line. We will pick up at Iosia next week, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
I cannot next week. I will be flying next week.
We'll do something next week.
Yes.
Yeah, the
9
next
p.m.
2 weeks he is unavailable.
I believe.
So we'll do something at this game time. We'll figure out what that is. We'll discuss it in the Discord, which you can join and give some input on if you like by clicking that link there that I just posted in chat. That'll take you to the Discord server, which you can hang out in and do stuff. And as always, we've been raising for Extra Life. I do have that link still showing. Help us raise money to help kids in the hospital. I'm usually more eloquent with that, but I am very tired. So I'm going to just leave it at that. I do also have a Patreon now. You can support this channel by way of the Patreon. The monthly rewards include things like my GM notes, so they're not going to be notes for this game because I'm not the GM for this, but it'll have my notes for like in memoriam as I hopefully once my Paleo Mythic campaign kicks off, maybe stuff for that, but also whatever stuff I've completed during the month for Tall Tales and other stories will also be on the Patreon. So that's the type of rewards you get there. And of course, if you're willing to support the channel without asking for any rewards, there's the coffee option. So thank you very much, and we're glad to have you here. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.